Not supported by and do not reflect those of the Evening Rush Network. Viewers' discretion is advised.
Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast. Nina is out of the country, but first class, we have Christy from Ohio. Hi, Christy.
Hey.
Yeah, so, it's nice outside. Open house season. If you haven't listed your property, now is the time. Yeah, so how are you? How was your trip?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Yeah, you got off the G4?
More like the 95.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, no, it was a good trip. It was really easy.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. So, do you enjoy driving?
I do. I leave about 4:30 in the morning, no traffic,
Yeah,
and I was here by like lunchtime.
okay.
Yeah.
Man, that's a long drive. You sure you don't want to take the G4?
Yeah, you can lend me yours. I'll get on it.
Yeah, man, that's a long ride.
Yeah, no, it's not that bad. Like 8 hours, 8.5 hours.
How long you gonna be in town?
You know, I'm moving.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, Christy is from Brooklyn, but somehow we lost her to Ohio. How'd that happen?
Hey. No, my aunt actually moved to Ohio first, and we all moved. And my mother followed her. So
Okay.
we went to Ohio. But my family is still here in Brooklyn, my dad's side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So were you flipping houses when you were in Brooklyn, or did your real estate experience start in Ohio?
So no, I was not flipping houses in Brooklyn, but my grandparents owned a house. So I always knew my grandfather owned a multi-unit and
Yeah.
a two-family house in the 80s.
Wow.
So I seen real estate very young.
Very young?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, technical, yeah, just give us a moment.
Are you playing this
No.
No. Yeah, so.
Yeah, so my grandfather owned a building and I always wanted to be in real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your experience like in Ohio? Like, what properties are you working with?
Right now I have multiple listings, but I turned into owning multiple properties and fixing properties and flipping properties. So I do all of that right now in Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did you start off as an investor and then get your license, or?
So I bought my first piece of property when I was like 21 years old.
Okay.
I lived in it, got married, things like that. I went through a divorce.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Then I got a property, a condo, and I was in the banking industry, and then somehow I switched to real estate. That's a long story. And when I became a realtor, I sold that first piece of property that I bought when I was 21. So I did that in 2017.
Oh, okay.
And that kicked everything off.
Got you.
And I was like, oh, I want to do that again and again and again. And that's what happened.
So do you get like a high when you close deals, like a rush when everything ties together, when you get the attorneys on the same page and the buyer, the seller?
Yep. So in Ohio, we don't use attorneys.
Oh, that's right.
We use title offices. And you learn very quickly to team up with a title office.
Gotcha.
First piece of game. So I guess you guys find attorneys. Do you use the same attorneys here all the time?
Yeah, we use a couple of different ones, but we have one main one we use.
Okay. Yeah. So the same relationship we built with the title company.
But unfortunately, here attorneys can screw your deal. That's another episode, guys. But
they do. I already know. I've been through that because you have the option of having your attorney review. And they do. They get all in the business, mess deals up, and you'll be like, do you want the money or not? Do you want to settle?
Sometimes they're so sleazy, they want the deal. And you don't know. And unfortunately, they could snake you and get the deal from underneath you by the power of being the attorney.
Yeah. I ran into that in Columbus, Ohio. I had a client that died. He wasn't actually my client, but he had like 60 or 70 properties. And the attorney who was handling the estate was offering the properties to his main realtors.
Right.
So he was robbing the kids of a whole bunch of money. And he was being sleazy.
Yeah. Here, like, I know someone that's in foreclosure and they got an attorney to fight it. And he was not really fighting it because he was trying to get the foreclosure.
Yeah, because he's in communication directly with the bank.
Yep.
And he's undercutting he's really being sleazy.
Very sleazy.
Yeah. And you don't need an attorney to stop a foreclosure.
No, you don't.
Need to communicate with your lender and then, try to work things out. They have multiple different ways for you to keep your house.
Yes,
but people think they can't do that. So they just shut down.
Well, Christy, it's not necessarily that they think they can't do that. It's the emotions of it all.
Oh, sure.
So sometimes they're so emotional about losing the property that by the time they wake up from it, it's like a mourning period. You know what I mean? It's like they can't believe they're getting served. They can't believe, and by the time they wake up, it could be too late.
Yeah. So just call a realtor, make some money.
Sell
it, and let's start over. Just a house.
Yeah.
Get another one.
Now here in New York, I don't know about Ohio, you have I call them professional foreclosologists, where they know all the tricks to keep the banks in limbo for years.
Oh, so you just live for free?
Yeah. I work for Aquin, and I was managing this home and going to court, and the homeowner had already lost the house to Aquin. However, a son was in the military, but he never lived in this house. However, he had mail with his name in the house, and military folks, you cannot evict them. You cannot. Yeah, so she walked away with a lot of money.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for her.
Yeah, she was caking off, man. I'm telling you, she got a new Bugatti, everything. I'm like, she good.
So many tricks and so many ways, but I mean, it's really simple. You pay, you stay. You don't, you won't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But in this wonderful world of real estate, you don't need a Columbia education, a Harvard law degree. You don't, you could be Joe Schmo off the block and have a ton of homes.
Definitely.
And sometimes these homeowners, they're great. Sometimes they're not. And you'd be surprised. Some people, they just be wearing cut up jeans, $2 flip-flops, but they got 20 homes.
The most money.
The most
money. I used to do it in an attorney. You look like a bum. You had all the properties, a lot of money. But depends on what you spend your money on. If you look like money, you might not have money.
Yep.
But
exactly. It could all be a front.
Yeah. Definitely.
But then again, some of these homeowners that have the nice things, but they're not taking care of their buildings. They're refinancing, buying fur coats. You know what I'm
They don't
saying?
put nothing in the property.
You know, going to Gilligan's Island. You know, they, you know, just having a ball. Meanwhile, that you got water coming through the ceiling, and you know, it's a very funny business in so many different ways.
Now the laws really protect the tenants here in New York City,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I've heard that a lot of
Yes.
investors, they don't want to invest here.
Yes.
Maybe as a second home, but not as a landlord. They like, oh, it's so hard. They hear horror stories about how to get New York tenants out of the buildings.
Yeah, rent control is sort of a nightmare.
Okay.
Sort of a, but like I said on all our previous shows, for everything bad, there's a lot more good. So if you have a few $1 million and you sinking in a big building, it don't matter rent control or not, depreciation, you're never gonna lose your money.
Exactly. It is an equity state. I always tell people that you can have cash flow or equity. So, you know, you can make money both ways. Sometimes I buy things just for equity states. Like I could rent it out and say the mortgage is $2,000 and I'll rent it out for $2,200. $200 is nothing, but it's the equity stake in the property that I want.
So, in Ohio, where are you most profitable in terms of renting or selling?
I own a bunch of different places. I own in Columbus.
Okay.
I own another place in Groveport, and I own in another place called Canal Winchester. Yeah. And I have one office building in Reynoldsburg. So I'm all over, but it's still east side of Columbus. They're like within a 50-mile radius of each other.
Yeah.
But profitable, you know, I'm really more profitable with the flips.
Got you.
I feel like I am. Instant gratification. The rentals is long term. You know, you get your money long term and in equity.
So let's talk flips for a second.
Okay.
Walk me through the process. So you're shopping around. I send you a deal. You like it. You go down. You see it.
Yeah.
You make your assessments right away.
Right away. I've done so many now that I know what I need and what I need to do to make it sell. So I'm a realtor first. So I can walk in a property. I know kitchens. I know bathrooms are important. So I'll rip those out first.
Gotcha.
And I know what that costs already. I already know where I'm getting everything from. And if I could sell it after I put the investment in it for a profit, I'll go ahead and write the deal.
Now, do you have a portfolio of all your, like, from your first deal to now? Like, do you keep pictures of the changes?
I do. If we had time, I don't have it like laid out, but we can dig out everything.
No. The reason why I asked, because on previous shows we were talking about technology and how they're integrated in doing the homes now compared to 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I just find it interesting, like the material you might use for a bathroom today.
It's not.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why when you look at the pictures, you like, it's like, it tells a story in itself.
So I'm a new investor. So I've only been in since 2017.
Yeah.
So, and I do things just to get it either rent ready or sellable. I don't make any custom, beautiful.
Got you.
So I'm going to Home Depot. I'm getting that 3-piece tub shower kit, plastic, throwing it on the wall.
Use it for mica?
For real. Like, I'm not.
You selling IKEA homes, man?
IKEA, for real. You know, we go in. I get the carpet, you know, everything is from Home Depot. I'm not specializing in making the wood or granite. I'm not doing any of that. I just want to make it livable and affordable for the next person.
Gotcha.
I don't want to make it out of somebody's reach. I'm not flipping to sell $1 million homes.
Gotcha. So you're not doing that high end, you're more on the low to middle end.
Exactly.
Okay. And mostly one family homes?
Yeah, because the multi-units I keep straight up.
Because of rental money in Ohio.
Yes.
So what are, see, here in New York, it's a process to go through eviction. It's a process to, you have a program called Cash for Keys where we help tenants, you know, they get some bread. So
Cash for Keys on a rental?
Yeah.
So no, Cash for Keys is only for people who own their home. So they own their home, they're behind. We'll give you cash for your keys to not tear it up. Because like you said, when they go through that foreclosure, they'll rip out everything. I've seen mansions with nothing. You just go in, it's just walls because they ripped out everything because they knew they was going through a foreclosure. So that person will give them cash for keys. But in Ohio, it's not hard to evict somebody. I'm evicting somebody. I'm here with you. It's $300 and a couple of notices.
You're out of the house by the time you drove from Ohio to here, right?
Listen, you laughing?
No.
She keep calling me from different
No, I'm sure.
From different numbers.
And let's be clear, it's not funny. Like I understand people are having hard times, and
these people are not. It is not. It's not funny, but she was mad at me. Let's talk about it. And you tell me what you think about this. Have you ever heard this?
Go ahead.
So she called me a slumlord, which I'm not. And she called, I don't know who you called, the city on me. She called the city on me. And she said, I'm not repairing anything. And the city said, well, what is she not repairing? It came out. She said she was upset with me because she had hot water in her toilet. I don't even know what the temperature is in my toilet. Do you know what the temperature is in your toilet?
Nah, but I never knew hot water affects me.
I told her that was an amenity. No, seriously, I can't make it up. And I just said, hey, let's just part ways, because at this point, that's not really a problem. And you're causing me more problems. The city came out and they noticed that she didn't have batteries in her carbon monoxide detector. So they gave me 3 days to put that in. That was the warning. And I gave her 3 days to get out because I can't deal with those type of petty things. And, I did my due diligence. I called a general contractor, and I said, hey, is there any harm from having hot water in your toilet? Like, what could this do to a person? Could it damage the person or could it damage the building? He said, well, Chrissy, it's just like maybe annoying. It's not going to damage anything. So, to me, we just need to part ways. I can't.
Well, listen, I had this tenant that swore people were going into her house while she wasn't home and things were disheveled and whatever. So I put cameras up.
Nice.
Then when I put cameras up, all of a sudden, oh, you're invading my privacy. You can see outside my house. And it just wanted to it was always something. But at the end of the day, I was like, where's my money? No money, but nothing but complaints. Yeah. All of a sudden, she had roaches and that, but never wanted to let me in the house. I know she's home, knocking on the door and saying, hey, I'm here with the exterminator. Don't open the door. So every complaint was just to, and make it seem like she didn't have to pay her rent because she had issues. Yeah. And then she filed something, because here, if they call 311, then you got to let them in the building, and she's filing false complaints and everything. She had to go. So. And ladies and gentlemen, she is gone.
Yay!
Thank God.
But not last time, but again, you can't take the stress. I can't take it. I had that too. I had a lady who said that people was going in our apartment. She said, I swear to God, Miss Chrissy, somebody's trying to kill me. They're trying to kill me. I said, well, listen, you change these locks and not give me a key, we're going to have a problem. Because that's illegal in Ohio. You have to provide everybody with a key. It's just, tenants are a real headache. So. It's like having kids, even though we're talking about grown adults, even older than me, and I'm old, like just older. And it's just wild, man. I'm sitting back like nothing surprised you after a while. You're like, okay, here we go again. Yeah, we be having those tenants from hell. Yes,
tenants from hell. And it doesn't matter the race. It doesn't matter. They're all the same. Yeah. You can just close your eyes. Tall, dark, light, white, don't matter. When they don't have that money, you're going to get the business. When they're going through a divorce, you're going through the divorce with them. When their kid is no longer there, you're their family. You got to be a psychologist. Yeah. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like 2 a.m. in the morning calling like, oh, I don't have my keys. Good luck, buddy. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. I developed my office hours from 9 to 5.
Yep.
Don't call me. Any emergencies cost you $99. I'm telling you right now.
Yes,
if I gotta get out of my bed, it's $99. Send somebody over here, it's $99. I don't care if it's to unlock the door. So we have to draw the line somewhere. But The easiest way to get out of that is don't buy. This is what I think. I start buying and spending a little bit more money. So instead of buying something in like closer to downtown, or I try to buy in the suburbs where people with a rent is higher. And I have everybody on like a tenant cloud where they can log in and make their payments. I have no problems with those tenants.
Yeah.
All my rents that are under $1,000 are headaches. So 700, a couple of 750s, a couple of 700. They are my like worst nightmares. But my 2800s, 3200s, all of my commercial rentals, I love them. Everybody pays for the year, on time. Like, I have no problems with these people, but the lower income units that I have, I almost gave up and wanted to get rid of all of them. But then I was like, oh wait, these properties I got so low, I have an equity stake. So I'm gonna hold on.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's this good for every bad.
There you go. Yes.
And the most challenging part of owning real estate is actually buying a good deal. So once you have it, you don't necessarily want to let it go unless you're getting one hell of a deal. It's real life monopoly. Real life monopoly. But it's just so funny, and it's such an interesting experience that, like, I recommend. How old are your kids?
22.
Oh, wow. You had them when you were 10?
21.
Wow. Oh, you made it.
Yeah.
Oh, you rich right now.
Not at all. Not at all.
Oh, man. Nah, I when my kids turn 16, I'm working so that they have a property each to rent out, and the rental income would be theirs to do, whether they go to school or start a business, that they have seed money for them to use from the properties to invest how they like.
Yeah, my son already owns too.
Yeah, like that's
gotta do that.
Yeah.
Do it as early as possible. Everybody get out there. If you're in college, they have loans for you to get houses while you're in college. You don't need a job. Your college, your career, what do you call it? Your major.
Your major, yeah.
Your major will qualify as your income, whatever that field is. If you major in whatever, they'll take that income, little down payment assistance from your mom, become a homeowner.
Yeah. And then they'll be on the podcast sharing their story, because I know they got some, because we all see, you get in this business, you see it all. You see it all. It's funny, I had a meme, like, if you're a real estate agent or a broker and you're shocked by something, you ain't doing a good job. Because you're in this business, after a while, nothing surprises you. And that's the topic. We got tales from the deal. And we're going to have so many interesting tales when we come back after our break. How you doing, Christy? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and you're going to keep coming back, right?
Absolutely.
So,
invite me.
Yeah, I'm saying you ain't got no kids.
Well, I got a 14-year-old.
Oh, you got one left.
I have a 22 and a 14. But,
okay.
So.
Oh man, bring the 22-year-old.
I would, and he actually went through real estate school.
Okay.
But he doesn't yet want to be a realtor. So he owns that property. It's a duplex, but he's not like, Mom, I want to be a realtor.
He's still figuring it out.
He is.
Yeah. And looking at you, probably play basketball or something. In sports.
He was. He was into sports. I always wish I would have put some money behind him, because he was good at everything. Football, basketball, track, broke a lot of records for that.
But let Shone get a hold of him and start singing and dancing and doing R&B.
Listen, they already want to be rappers, all kind of stuff. So Shone might have to let you in on this. Come talk to this kid. He doesn't have the bug yet, but he can definitely take over my whole business. He picked up rents, drop off, he knows how to pay all the bills, He's a good kid.
Yeah, I'm doing that with my son, and he's 11.
Train him early.
But also, you could do so many other things in life and still come back to real estate. This isn't a business where you need to like dedicate your heart and soul right away. Nah, go soil the earth and live a little bit, see the world, then come back and buy some mansions and call me up.
Yes. We will.
Yeah,
We'll definitely
for sure. Yeah, speaking of which, you were talking about buying an apartment in Brooklyn.
I do.
Yes,
So I'm here looking. I called a couple of realtors today, and they just don't seem as motivated as I hoped for. But we got you.
Yeah, that's
get me out there.
You didn't call me, man.
I did not send a text message, Sean. I did. I was like,
I didn't get that text.
I said I need a realtor.
I didn't get that text.
Okay.
Last time I spoke to you, it was Thanksgiving. I was preparing some duck, and you was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna come through," and then it was crickets.
You know what hit me?
What hit you?
The snow. It got so cold. We was under snow, blizzards.
Well, that's where you were. It didn't snow not 1 inch here in the city.
Have no snow.
Nope. All the snow went to Buffalo.
Weird.
Yeah, Buffalo.
That never happens.
Buffalo got the snow for the whole state. It was crazy upstairs. We didn't get none in the city.
Snowed in Ohio. I was so upset with the weather.
Now I was mad because I bought an electric shovel, and I and we got nothing. I spent like $300 on a shovel. I'm like, it's just sitting there, brand new.
Even on Christmas Day?
Nothing. We got like 1 inch.
We were snowed in.
Wow.
On Christmas Day.
See, you should have came to New York. You would have missed that snow.
It was like the whole week. It wasn't like one day. We were snowed in for 3-4 days. I couldn't get down my driveway.
Wow.
Yeah, it was horrible. So.
Yeah. Well, one day we had a snowstorm so bad I couldn't open up my front door. So I had to jump out the side window.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. Dead serious.
Oh, we lost it.
Oh, okay.
Must be
all right,
commercial.
so ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your girl, Chrissy, here to let you know that the Evening Rush Network now has an app. Yes, an app, you guys, so you can stay connected on the go and watch all your favorite podcast shows. You can download the app at Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. So spread the word. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, if you're looking to start a podcast and really don't know how, well, hit us up at the Evening Rush Network at gmail.com and inquire about time slots, pricings, and everything you may need to get started. We got you. Join the winning team, the Evening Rush Network. And also, download that app. What are you waiting for? Get to it.
Hey! So here we back, Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast. Chris and Christy, I'm sorry, Nina is out of town. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, Wise FM. Sorry, a little late on that greetings. But hey, so listen, Christy, so do you remember your most exciting deal?
1.9 million, a 69 unit, multi-unit. I was kind of new. First year. So like one of my first deals.
And everything went smooth?
No, it was a train wreck. But I got it done. I had to help we actually bought it from the auction.com.
Okay.
So my client, she loves real estate. She has a ton of real estate, millionaire, tons of times over. And they like to bid.
Yeah.
She might be a bit of a gambler. I don't want to say her name, but she likes to bid. So she was like, I'm not going over 1.1. I'm not going over, that's in the 1.9?
Wow.
Yeah, 1.9. It was like 2018. And that property right now to this day is worth like 5 million, 6 million, and she generates like 40 to 50,000 a month. That's after she pay everybody. And I wish. I wasn't up then. I wasn't ready. There's a time in the season.
Yes.
Your deal is coming. You don't have to steal other people's deals. I don't have to jump in on it. But I remember her mortgage payment because I had to help her with the loan, and her mortgage payment is $8,000.
Wow.
On 1.9 million. So that was back then. So anyway, good days. Those were the good old days.
You send her a card now, see how she's doing.
I talk to her every day.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
She's still buying. She can't. We done bought all kind of things since then. But yeah, that was my most exciting deal.
Well, see, I don't have those kind of exciting.
You don't have that?
No, I mean, I was close to selling a hotel, but unfortunately, that would have been my most exciting deal last year.
Okay.
Like really close, but we didn't get the bid in time. But my most memorable deal is I was working with this woman in Brooklyn. She was in foreclosure. I met her. She was crying. She was stuck in foreclosure. She wasn't going to get any money. And she was going to be stuck with this mortgage, stuck with the loan after they take the home and wanted to get out of it. And so I arranged it. I found a buyer. I put everything together. We go to the table. All of a sudden, this sweet little old woman turned into something I had never seen. All of a sudden, she was like, why are you getting this? Why are you getting this? Why are all these people making money off of my home? And she got so upset. She walked away from the deal. Everybody was just like sitting there shocked. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't like subtle. It was like as if she came in, took a shot of something, and just flipped out. Yeah. And I was stunned because I didn't, she was like old Mother Hubbard, or like, just like,
where did she get all this energy?
Yeah, all of a sudden she turned into a mafia woman or something, like, you taking advantage of me, and you, and you, and you. And then she left and never came back. And everybody's calling, we sitting there with the deal, the checks were cut, everything. So she left, but I got a hold of her. She got a dose of reality. We all came back to the table and it closed. But I was going through a heart attack because it was my first deal and I wanted to, I thought I was saving her. I thought the investor was coming in. Everybody was happy. But she turned into some like evil, bipolar, straight bipolar. It was just, but that's why I learned a valuable lesson though. Even though you're helping somebody get out of a bad situation, she's emotionally attached to her home. And when you're dealing, even if you're not in foreclosure, right? When you're dealing with, there's another deal where they're not in foreclosure, but they wanted to move to out of the state and they needed somebody to buy the home because they're buying a new home upstate, and then you get all that done, and then all of a sudden, we need to stay in the house 2 months. No. Never, like, this is like 3 months, nothing.
Throw this in.
Yep.
You could have advertised it that way, but they didn't tell you.
Yep.
So you put available at closing.
Yep.
And now my client would like to stay 2 months.
Yeah.
That's a deal breaker. You don't want to wait 2 months when you spend $500,000.
But there was a motor lodge down the street, so we got. No, I'm just kidding.
You know how you get away with that? I've had that happen multiple times.
Yeah.
So when my seller decides to play those games, I'm like, okay, well, we need to pay 2 or 3 times whatever the rent cost is. So if you were paying $1,500 in a mortgage, now you want to stay in this house, you owe the new buyer $3,000 a month. And guess when they want it? At closing.
Yep.
So now at closing, seller's gonna stay how many months?
2 months.
2 months, $6,000.
Yeah.
You give them $6,000, you can stay. They're like, I'll go live with Aunt Pat around the corner. Forget it, we're leaving. And that's usually how it goes. I haven't had oh wow. Then I just bring that up. I did have one seller say she was building a house, so she was okay with moving, but I had a week possession for a week.
Okay.
And she was going over the week. So I had my guys pull up with a U-Haul, throw all her stuff in the U-Haul, and I like, you gotta go, because I was gonna buy and sell. And that taught me a valuable lesson too. Don't do that. Like, I don't do it as much because of this deal.
Right.
So I didn't kick her out, but I helped her. Take the U-Haul, and listen, everybody sued me at the end. She sued me and said, I said as is, the seller sued her because the house wasn't clean. And it was a mess.
So the house wasn't clean? Wow.
She said as is, she thought when I listed her house as is, she could just leave her belongings, like whatever she did. So she literally packed up what she didn't want and left everything else.
That's not as is.
It's nothing to do with as is. People listening, if you're selling your home and you think as is It has something to do with the mechanicals, the house,
Right.
the structure.
Right.
It is not your refrigerator in the garage. You cannot leave your lawnmower from. You can't do that. That's not as is. So, oh my God.
And you know what people do here is we leave money in escrow.
Oh yes.
So that like if you don't take care of this, your money does.
Yeah. Right.
Or you get it back if it's taken care of.
Yeah.
Similar like when they give you a deposit
Yes.
or when you get a home, when they rent your home, they pay you a deposit up front
Yeah.
and you give it back once everything is back in the order that it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Title companies hate that in
Yeah.
Ohio. They don't want to be responsible for no money being held longer than a day or two.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how long we keeping your money? I'm like, listen.
Because they want to go to the casinos.
So, sometimes as a realtor, you got to be resourceful. You got to be helpful. You got to be fixers.
Yes.
You got to jump in. You got to fix it. I'm just like, get me to the next deal.
Your Rolodex has to be crazy.
Yeah. Mine?
Yeah.
Insane.
Because you got to have, somebody to call for this or that,
Yeah. So I opened up a whole company because of that.
Oh, what's the name of the company?
Queens Multi-Services.
Oh, tell us more.
No, we just literally will do everything. I will do whatever I got to do to make sure the transition is as least stressful as possible.
Right.
I don't want my seller to be like, oh, I don't want to sell a house because I don't have nowhere to go. Let me go find you somewhere to go.
Right.
Let me go help you with applications. Where do you want to live? I'm just constantly moving pieces and puzzles around to make sure we close because it's getting harder to sell houses. Do you agree?
Yes, it's more. Oh, technology is killing us.
Standard.
Like I'm going to open house and they're telling me what the value is. Like, oh, this house has been on the market for 2 years and it still didn't sell. They're going to take this low offer.
Everyone thinks they're a realtor. I'm like, did you go to school or did I go to school? How many houses have you sold last year?
Yeah.
I can tell you how many I sold. And I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't want to argue with price. Right now, we're not in a market where it's low. Nothing is dropped to where you can go in and lowball people. We're not there yet. It might be coming. I'm not going to say never, but it's not here. Not in Ohio. In Columbus, Ohio, I just listed. I'm in contract. I'm getting offers. Things are going highest and best. It's insane.
Well, I did read an article and it was saying that the interest rates are slowly declining.
I saw that.
So that's a great sign for buyers.
Listen. So it was back in the day before. This is what I heard because anyway, I've only been licensed since 2017. But I remember when I bought my house. I told you when I was 21, and my interest rate was like 10%. I had great credit. And it was like that's what it was. So we're going backward to that.
Yeah.
So but we're still at like what 5 and 6% now?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
But it's going more closer to 6. It's going down towards 5.
It fluctuates every day.
It fluctuates. Yes.
So that's a great rate. Go out and buy.
Yeah, salute Carlton. So in this game, it's like nothing new ever happens. It's just kind of sort of rinse, wash, repeat. Market goes up, market comes down.
Yeah.
And you're right. Like when you're ready, it'll happen.
Yeah.
It took me about 2 to 3 years to personally buy with my wife our first home.
Okay.
Right? But it's a little easier to buy an investment home.
You think so?
Yeah, because it's just numbers.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like your numbers have to work. It doesn't like unless you're like on some that has to be pretty or whatever. But you're never. If you're like me, you're never going to be there. You may show up to pick up your rent, but now they could just cash app you the rent. Like so you don't really need to be at the property at all. And it's just numbers. As long as you find numbers, and I'm not saying it's easy to find the numbers, but it's just easier than when you're picking out what you like. When the space, the color, and then you're married, and then you gotta see. All I cared about was the basement.
Closet,
exactly. Like yes. Where's she gonna put her shoes? Like you know what I'm saying? Like like there's so many variables to buying a home that's personal that I found more challenging than looking for a profit or looking to build equity.
Yeah. Or, you're not emotionally invested.
Exactly.
It's a business.
Exactly. It's a business. Or like I wanted to like see around COVID, I was looking to do affordable housing, and we were looking in Philadelphia, and then COVID hit, and we were trying to look for ways to keep our house affordable. So
yeah, hold on, wait.
Yeah, so we got off that shit for a minute, but we're about to get back on. We were also looking at Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Detroit is supposedly like really good to get into because of it's like all of those boarded up houses and stuff.
And a lot of businesses are going back to Detroit or already there. We might have missed that window because once you already hear people going there, it's like, yeah.
No, well, Toledo is like maybe an hour from Detroit.
Okay.
Toledo, Ohio. And Toledo is kind of a lot similar to Detroit. You can still buy things 30, 40,000.
Yeah, we might have to. I'm gonna have a call with you and my wife. We might have to go out there and start buying some things.
I don't want to buy in Toledo, no.
Oh.
I don't think. I think we can still make more money in Columbus.
Oh no! I mean, I just want to get out. Like,
come see.
Yeah, come see. And then also, when it comes to affordable housing, to me, it's my way of giving back.
Sure.
So I'm not looking to do that as like become like a rich person or some like sleazy person where I'm saying affordable housing, but I'm making millions of dollars. Like I'm not trying to do that.
No, what would be really fly is if we could build affordable housing and actually give it, to people at the right price. Because I've built 3 or 4 homes, multiple homes in my life, and the same home I built at $300,000 is now $599. And that's not fair.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything different. What happened? Oh, they said lumber went up and this went up and that went up. How about we just build like $200,000 houses?
Right.
Nice ones.
Right.
And get people who actually could afford it and want to be homeowners. Now, if you don't want to be a homeowner, that's different. Some people don't. I had somebody tell me today, I don't want to fix anything or touch gutters or they don't want anything to do with, they want to be able to call somebody and say, come fix this.
You can do that. Like
Craigslist.
No, but in life, there's many different ways to be something.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Some people can be rich by couponing and, and some people are rich just because they make a lot of money and spend a lot of money. Yeah. Like you could choose the kind of homeowner you want to be. But I tell you, when you're renting and you don't own a home, your rent ain't never going down. It only goes up. Yeah. Unless you got affordable housing or whatever, but then you're stuck in that spot for 30 or 40. And some people are okay with that.
Tell me about that. So you're saying affordable housing, you can buy a house or you could rent a house in affordable housing and the rent never goes up?
It's not a house. It's like like in a city they have like Section 8.
Oh, yeah.
Or like they have like where the rent never goes above a certain amount in like those big like 50-unit buildings. They'll have like 15 apartments dedicated to right.
Oh gosh.
And so they could be there for 40 years paying, let's just say $200.
Nice.
You know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, it was a huge around COVID. It was a huge battle. I don't know if Shone remembers, but like they were like going to court. And you had the landlords versus the tenants because they couldn't raise rent control. But everything is going up. Like, think about it. Like, when gas goes up and you go buy corn, the price of corn goes up. But the crazy part is when gas goes back down, that price of corn is still
don't
go down.
Yes.
But you're a landlord, so you're paying, and these rent control buildings, they're not paying heat and hot water.
Oh wow!
You understand what I'm saying? They like it was crazy when I like 20 years ago when I met my wife. I never lived in a house before. I lived in an apartment building, so I never paid a water bill. So that was crazy. So when we got our own house and I had a backyard, I started buying like planting food and and growing like trying to find exotic flowers. And then I got my water bill. I was like, water bill was like $800. I was like, yeah.
That is hilarious.
I've never seen a water bill until I was like, oh, wow. So a lot of these people in these buildings All they're paying is their electric bill. They're not paying for gas. They're not paying for water. And then the cost to maintenance and everything, the building still has to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and most.
They don't care though.
No.
They don't care.
No.
Do not raise this rent. This is what they can afford. This is how they've been living.
But at the same time, you and I know the benefits of owning a home.
Yeah, you can save $200 a month. You're not gonna have no equity.
Listen, I learned how to clean my pipes. I learned how to do some things so that I don't have to call nobody. And I do this with everything, even my car. I do my own oil changes. I'm not spending $300 and throwing it away, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I do it because I can. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I learned being a business owner, homeowner, is good to know a little bit of everything, as well as having that Rolodex.
Yes.
Because what if you can't reach somebody and you got to go to the bathroom? You know what I'm saying? And you might need to fix that toilet yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? You might need to have a house with multiple toilets. No. Even if you like, let's say, you could, but let's say one line is clogging up all it's the main drain. Yeah. We in trouble. Be in trouble. So like, you got to learn everything, a little bit of everything, and
that shouldn't be your focus anyway. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
The equity stake and the home equity lines of credit, and they make single moms like me. That's my emergency. You know, I don't mess up my equity line because, God forbid, my toilet goes out and I don't have anybody. So yeah, I mean, but if people let that stop them from becoming a homeowner, then I don't know. That should not be the first thing on your mind. Always, always, always become a homeowner. It boosts everything up. It boosts everything. It starts with a foundation. So if you have one house, 10 houses, it's a foundation. Start somewhere. Because I don't want to get in the game too late and then I'm 70 years old still paying my mortgage.
Yep.
You know, it's a 30-year mortgage.
Now, I was telling a family member of mine, I was like, hey, when you get to a certain age, you got to take those mortgages out your name.
Somebody else was saying that you get like an estate planner and do like
yes, because they will hit you. You get a lot more benefits when you take that stuff out your name past 65 or 70, right? And they don't come right away. So maybe like 5 years after you do it, but you don't want to have assets in your name so that you can get Medicare, Medicaid, and you could get benefits. And let's be clear, we don't know what the future, right? So let's say you turn 70 and at 72, you get Alzheimer's, or you need to go in a home. You're getting these benefits to assist with that. But if they see you with these mortgages, then it's gonna be way more expensive for you.
In Ohio, I have a lot of senior citizens that sell their homes, and they sell and put the money, you know, in their trust or kids' name, so they can go to the nursing home with just Medicaid.
Right.
Other than that, they gotta pay that Medicaid bill. The nursing home bill.
Right.
It could be more than a mortgage.
Yes.
You know, because it's expensive. So I agree. Don't wait too late to.
And that's the saddest part of this country is the medical benefits. Medical bills ain't no joke.
Yeah.
You know, and when the country think you have money, it's even worse.
One accident. There's insurance now though to help you with. So I broke my leg twice.
Oh wow, what were you doing?
Showing houses.
Really?
I'm always working.
You had heels on or something?
No.
Oh.
I was on a new build. I was on a construction site.
Okay.
And it was dirt, and I kind of tripped. So I went to go on the porch on the dirt, and fell on the concrete, and I broke my leg. But had I had what insurance is that called when you hurt yourself?
Geico?
No.
Aflac.
Aflac is a good one, and it's an example of what I'm describing. So say you're used to making $20,000 a month, and you hurt your leg, you can they'll pay you a percentage of that 20,000. Had I had this insurance. Anyway, I didn't get it, so.
But you broke your leg twice. You know, the first time?
No, you know what? I broke my leg kind of right behind each other. So I broke my leg, the same leg. So I broke the tibia bone first, and then I went back and broke my femur, the femur bone. And that's like the biggest bone in your body. It's just drama. Listen. Guess what? I was still selling houses. You could go out there and see me on my walker because I didn't have the insurance.
Wow.
So I'm out here still showing houses, still making it happen. And when you have such a pipeline, I can't just stop.
Yeah.
So, you start, my team actually helped me get through that. I had a team at the time.
You still don't, they're not together now?
I don't have the dream team no more.
Well, everybody outside, they left, they ran for the border, they got their own businesses?
No. It was just me and my partner, and he basically died during COVID. He was jogging and he passed away. He was 44 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so then I broke my leg, and then I tried to hire more people. It just was a mess. So I went through a lot, but guess what sustained me? My rental properties. Yes.
Real estate, yeah.
Like, what if I didn't invest? Then how would I pay my bills?
Yeah.
I mean, I still sold real estate, but I'm just saying.
You'd be on the tip of the government.
Yeah. Yeah, so like you just mentioned, one accident could change your life.
Change your whole life.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you're working and you're looking to invest in something that is a little bit of risk, but if you buy the right property, get the right numbers, and manage it right, you could be sitting on money for decades.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's my testimony. So.
All right.
I believe that.
And so you're moving to New York now, right? We were speaking about that, and these agents what were they doing? What happened when you were calling up and saying, "Hey, I'm Christy. I'm looking to buy in Brooklyn"? What
so the first thing I say is, "Hey, are you a listing agent of blah 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 Ocean Avenue?" And they be like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hey, what's your percentage? How much you pay?" He's like, "Oh, 2.5%." So I didn't know you guys make 2.5%. We make 3% usually in Columbus, so it's a little bit more. Yeah. So anyway, he was like, "Is it for you?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay. Can you write the deal for me? Can you do referral or whatever?" He's like, "Sure. You can have the 2.5%."
Okay.
But then I looked at the property, had like one picture. I said, I can't work with this. I'm just not, I don't know. I'm used to more aggressive, so the market, and I don't know how long that property has been on the market. Maybe it sits a little longer here in New York, but
right.
In Ohio, you gotta be like fast.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something though. Because you're looking for an apartment, was it a condo or co-op?
I think it was a co-op because it had a co-op fee of like $1,100. Because the first thing he said, it was a $200,000 co-op. He said, "Did you see the co-op fee? It was $1,100. I was like, "No, I didn't see the fee, but what all does that cover?" And I mean, he didn't mention, he said, "I still have to pay electric."
But that's the thing. Not only do you the fee, and forget the money part.
Yeah.
But it's like going for an interview to buy. Like you have to go through a board for co-ops.
Oh, wow.
And then you have to go into the board buying. And then let's say you want to sell, it's the same thing.
Oh, that's
so you can have somebody great, but if they don't like the color of your shoes or anything when you go meet the board, you ask them. So it's a little more complicated buying a co-op.
Horrible.
Condo, not so much, but co-op, you got to go through a board.
Isn't that kind of like what do you call it? I know when realtors kind of make sure you live in a certain place.
No. It's not necessarily.
It's just the board makes it.
It's just the board. It's not a board of realtors.
No, I got you.
You know what I mean? It's just it's like, I don't know what you're going to go through when you got to go through a board, right? Some boards, whoever's running it could be X, Y, and Z. I don't know. Okay. But I know, and then you're talking about a realtor that has to deal with the board, just like I tell you about attorneys messing up your deals.
That's no house.
Yeah, exactly. So you could be dealing with a frustrated agent, and you are fresh on the scene, and they just don't care. It's like,
don't care.
Exactly, because they're dealing with some BS that you didn't even walk into yet.
Well, Chris, find me a house.
I'll find you a house, but a co-op. That's like asking me to find you a rental. I'm not doing that either.
But I see myself living in like a building. I want it to have like security. I want to come up my elevator.
Gotcha. But that price,
want a balcony.
That price you told me though, I don't know about
what's gonna happen.
I don't know about that.
Well, listen, if you can't, and you gotta find me something a little more expensive, make sure I get Airbnb. And I need to make some money.
Yeah, no, you will make some money. You will make some money.
Let's do it then.
You will make some money.
At that point, the co-op can't say I can't Airbnb it. And
see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know the guy. Like, it's just so much more. And this is just in general. Like, you just have to look at the bylaws and like you can't rent, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then your worst enemy is whoever lives in the building. Like, oh my God, they're going to this apartment. Who are they? And then next thing you know, they send you a letter saying, hey, we need you to vacate the property because you're violating rules. And like, so it's like.
And I own it?
You don't own it. You own a share because it's a co-op.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you buy a condo, you own it. If you buy a co-op, you own shares in a building.
And there's a board. You gotta run everything. It's like an HOA.
Right. And if you wanna paint or do something, you have to get approval.
Even on the inside?
Even on the inside, depending on their rules. They want you to, and you know it's crazy. I do appraisals, and I was doing this single family home, and the guy was like, and it was in Long Island, in a prestigious place where everything says 1860 on each house, because they don't, and you have to and they don't approve nothing. You have to keep everything is antique. So it was like I was in the 1960s in this house. They can't even get solar, right? But the value is crazy because you're on a waiting list to buy in this area.
That's insane.
And it's not a board. You don't have to get approved by a board, but you have to get approved because the house is, what's it called? It's like it's a historical area. Yeah. So these houses, and they all branded 1960 on each home. I was lost for a second because I was like, yo, where's 61? I see 1960. But then you see the house numbers somewhere else, but they all have marks.
Yeah.
To like stamp these homes. And the guy was like, yo, I couldn't do nothing to this house if I wanted to, but the waiting list to buy is ridiculous. So if he was to sell, he would sell. It's a small cottage, one family, worth like $2 million.
Now I own a house in downtown Canal, Winchester, where I live. And literally the door is rotted out, but it's a historic neighborhood. They will not approve a new door. I said, can I go get a Home Depot door?
Nope.
Serena, ma'am, I don't live here. She said, no, you got to contact somebody who deals with wood, and then you got to sand the door down, and they got to restore that door. I said, you're retarded. I'll let the whole door let it keep looking messy. Because they would rather it look messy than have me just replace the door because it's an historic.
Yep. And if you did it without that, they would sue you.
They'll make me take it down.
Destroy you. They
would make me take it down.
They would destroy your kids. They would destroy your kids. Don't mess with the town.
That makes me want to get on a board. I gotta get on a board, and I have to go vote, and I gotta say, hey, old people, stop. Stop right now. Let me buy a new door so we can keep the community looking nice.
Yes, indeed. Well, listen, it was great having you on the show, Christy.
It's over?
Yes.
I don't want it to be over.
Don't worry. We will have her back. Okay. You were so great. Okay. So awesome. Straight from Ohio. Fresh off the car trip. Thank you so much. She came with a bucket of chicken. We're going to tear that down. Anyway, tune in next week for the Chris and Nina Real Estate Podcast show. Nina will be back. Thank you, Christy.
You're welcome.
Good night and God bless.
Good night, guys.